the ability to make plays, contested plays, I think is what's so important.
Welcome into TexAgs Radio. This is The Rewind. We had an insanely packed show today. We had Stephen McGee, Olin Buchanan, Coach Schlossnagle, Richard Zane, Aaron Torres, Chris Taylor, the fan show. We had it all. What was your favorite part, David?
Well, I'm going to allow these gentlemen. We got Jason Rollo, Matt Browning with us. What was your favorite part of the show? Probably your presence, your debut, I would assume.
Fan show.
Yeah.
We have to go with that.
Yeah, you know what? I love Chris Taylor. Chris Taylor's
Wasn't he good?
He's so good. That guy's he's from my day, so I'm a big fan.
My favorite part of the show with Coach Schlossnagle, these guys were great, but Coach Schloss, because you can ask him bad questions and he turns them into great answers. You can ask him great questions and he makes them even better. Every time I talk to Schloss, I feel like I learn. It is The Rewind. Check it out.
What are your thoughts about Anaya Smith?
I don't know how you guys feel about this, but I can't think of an Aggie in recent memory that I rooted for more strongly than Anaya Smith. I just appreciate his passion and his love for the game. I feel like if you had a football game in the parking lot, Anaya Smith would show up. Like, he just loves to play and compete. And that's the kind of guy I want on my team. He's like, hey, coach, whatever you need me to do today, I'm going to do it. I hope he gets drafted high, and I hope he lands in a spot that really fits him and he can thrive and excel with a good quarterback. So
I think if he's there in the third round, whoever's there for the Cowboys should run up to that podium so fast that Goodell thinks he's getting or whoever's going to be calling in the third round thinks they're getting assaulted. Because I think Anais in the third round will be a steal.
Oh God, I love it, man. OB, for you and my sake, just selfishly, I hope he ends up in Dallas. That'd be awesome.
Hey, your thoughts on, it looks like Reggie Bush, and it doesn't look like it, he is getting his Heisman back, and apparently Johnny played a role in it. What's his name? Pete Thamel from ESPN was saying it played definitely a part, because the Heisman Trust do not like to be criticized, especially from one of their own.
I love it. I mean, look, let's be honest. It's long overdue. He deserves it. I mean, he had one of the best seasons. That was my era of football, and I remember watching him when I was in high school and thinking to myself, my gosh, this guy is unbelievable. And he was in a class of his own, and it's a shame. But now, obviously, knowing where football is today and the direction, with NIL and everything else, he deserved to have it.
And every young player wants to play. Very few players truly buy into the Charlie Condon story that we're going to get to see live and up close this weekend, where Charlie Condon was a redshirt. And my first year at A&M, we go to Georgia and we walk into the ballpark early. And it was a Thursday game. We walked in the ballpark super early, and they had their red shirts or, everyday players taking some early BP, and this guy's hitting balls over the moon. And we asked the coach, like, who's that guy? And he's like, yeah, he's a walk-on that we're not sure is quite ready yet. And now he might be the first pick of the draft, or what's his name, Langford for the Rangers, who had 4 at-bats his freshman year and ended up, now he's in the big leagues less than a year removed from college. So the young players, they don't, they hear it, but they're so used to playing and so looking for opportunities and giving them opportunities, and they show flashes of brilliance. Like Bowden did, like Antolik. Antolik did nothing but throw strikes. If Bowden fields a comebacker, he's out of the inning instead of us giving up, loading the bases and then giving up the infield single. And Jet Johnson got 2 quick outs and then got knocked around. So I just wanted to say that because we still believe in our young pitching, but developing a freshman pitcher in this conference or in today's college baseball is very, very rare. Very rare to have them make impact like Weston Moss is, frankly. So anyway, but this weekend is going to be, it's going to be a beatdown. This is a offense that is very similar to ours in many ways. A lot of power, 101 home runs the last time I checked. Star power that surrounds Condon, so it's not as easy as you think just to put him on base. They don't steal much. They don't bunt much. We don't bunt much either, but we do like to run. So it's going to be interesting to see how this all plays out. And with the rain coming, there's a good chance we won't make an announcement for a while, but there's a good chance we end up playing 2 on Saturday and no game Sunday. So that crunches everybody's pitching, which therefore makes it more offensive. So be prepared. Hold on to your seat.
I think it was Saturday down south that had the best quarterback rooms in the SEC. And I just want to ask you, what do you think? Best quarterback rooms in the country? You don't just cover the SEC. You cover it all. Who do you think? Who are 2 or 3 of the best quarterback rooms in the country?
Well, I mean, now that Jaden Rashad is going to Georgia, no, I'm kidding. So what I would say, I just mentioned the team. What I think Dan Lanning did this offseason, this is how, I think Dan Lanning is a current superstar. I think he's a future superstar. I know he hasn't had that big moment yet, lost to Washington twice this past year, all that. But I thought what he did this offseason, going and getting Dylan Gabriel, and then stacking the room where Dante Moore, a former 5-star who everybody wanted, can sit back for a year, get used to campus, get used to his teammates. I thought that was brilliant, okay? So that's one that I'm really excited about. And as you said, I'm glad you took it outside of the SEC. Obviously, what Alabama does this year is interesting. They're certainly not the best, but, I think there's already talk of, is Jalen Milroe going to be the guy all 13 games, all 12 games, 13 games, whatever it ends up being? It's easy to support him now, but you lose to Georgia at home, he throws for 110 yards or whatever, then all of a sudden maybe you have to start looking at some other guys. And then I think the other one that stands out, it's super obvious, but it's Ohio State. I'm not a Will Howard guy, but everything else around him is so good it might not matter. But, credit to Ryan Day. I mean, you bring in Julian Sayin after the coaching change with Nick Saban. Beyond that, you obviously had Aaron Noland already committed. Devin Brown, who, of course, Ryan Day sold as his future going into the bowl game. Now might be the 3rd or 4th guy. So I do give him credit, though. Listen, it's the NIL era. You can pay guys handsomely to be backups and develop. And that was obviously what Ryan Day's vision was this offseason.
They still got to add to that wide receiver room, and hopefully they do that in short order. But Noah Thomas was the headliner when it comes to big plays. What did you see from Noah this weekend?
Yeah, Noah, I won't say he's in midseason form, but, the ability to make plays, contested plays, I think is what's so important. And, the big play that Henderson threw down to him around, the 5 or 10, he goes up and makes a play on the diving catch in the end zone for a touchdown. Being able to make those contested catches are going to be huge. Being 6'6" and having a huge wingspan and being able to go up and attack the football. We know what Noah brings to the table. I just want to see him be able to get through 12 games or, hopefully 15 games this year. And stay healthy and be able to make a huge impact. I think he's good enough to be a wide receiver 1 if we can keep him upright, keep him on the field, because he has that much talent and that much potential.
Talking with Chris Taylor here on TexAgs Radio, presented by David Gardner's Jewelers. A guy that I'm excited about, Cyrus Allen. He showed big play potential and just has that quickness that they desperately need.
Yeah, I mean, it's the suddenness, being able, he showed the ability to be able to go outside. And, during the spring game, he played a little bit on the outside. But I think a guy like him, he averaged 19 yards to catch last year. You put him in the slot, now he becomes a nightmare matchup. And, most teams, they're going to have their top 2 corners that are on the field when you're in base defense. But can you create that matchup when it gets 3rd and 6? You bring in that 3rd receiver. Now they bring in their nickel. I think Cyrus Allen is better than that 3rd corner. And I look for him to be able to make those big plays, especially in that slot versus, whether they want to run cover 2, if they want to go man. He's that quick. I think he creates a lot of mismatches when it comes to matchups with that 3rd corner.
All right, I'm predicting this is going to go well. Jason Rollo.
Yes, sir.
Tell the people what to do.
In what way?
Well, at the end of at the end of YouTube videos, I do this to everybody for the first time. At the end of YouTube videos, what do you think people should do?
End of the TexAgs YouTube video?
Or any YouTube video. What do people tell you usually to do? Do you watch YouTube?
Yeah, I use YouTube sometimes.
So watch.
Yeah.
I bet you Matt can get you started. You'll be able to
show
finish
me
it.
what he's talking about.
You want to like?
Oh, the likes.
Yes.
Okay, you want to like the YouTube.
And you want to?
Share.
Yeah, okay.
And subscribe.
I can do the like. I know the little thumb, you know.
And you want to click that notification bell so you never miss another TexAgs Rewind.
Yeah, just like it. It helps the
Now I
algorithm.
understand. Okay.
Yeah, like
I've heard you say this, but I didn't
But
pay as much attention.
most people give me the look you gave me. Like, what is he?
He does it to everybody.
I didn't know what he was talking about.
He didn't spare you. He does.
All I know, I can do the thumb. You go around there. I'm used to the thumb. It's
Like,
great. Yes.
gig 'em,
I can
subscribe.
definitely do that.
Yeah, instead of calling it like, we used to say gig 'em.
Yeah.
And like it.
Click the gig 'em button.
See you next time.